ever wondered about the meaning of retrograde planets? What is their purpose? And do they have any significance whatsoever in karmic astrology, in reincarnation astrology? What do they want to tell us more specifically? So, some people would say that they are telling us about our previous life experiences, and that answer is partially true. Actually, retrograde planets are opening us toward another dimension of reality. They are opening us a new perspective that can be connected to our past lives in some cases, but in some cases it is opening us toward our future lives. So whenever you have a retrograde planet, you know that that planet doesn't work just for this present dimension. In this reality, it is present partially, but some other time, or in some cases most of the time, it is present in our previous or in our future life. And in order to define which one of these is more active, you need to see whether this retrogradation is going toward the sun or toward the opposite point of the sun, which is actually heliocentric position of the Earth. If it goes toward the heliocentric position of the Earth, it always opens memory toward the future life. If it goes toward the sun, it opens toward the past life. So we have both kind of memories, but through retrogrades, we are connecting, we are opening toward our past or our future, because those two lives are the most important for us. They're like our neighbors that are here to connect with us. They are most important for the integration process. Once we integrate three lives, we become real, we become true person, to ourself. And that's why we have three signs of the same element in a chart, three fiery signs that represents three lives. We have three watery signs, of course, that represents three experiences of passing, of going from one side to the other, because water is always opposite to the fire. That's why the 8th house of each fiery house represents the end of that life. So we have all of them, an integration of three of them is the most important, but retrogrades are playing a very important role in all of that. They are actually links that we have in our chart to connect with those parts. So in order to learn how to work with retrograde planets, we need to learn how to actually work through our lunar part of ourselves. It is much more open to the moon side of us than to the sun part of us, because solar part of us is always direct. It always goes from me toward the others, but the lunar part is much more receptive. We are receiving lights. And once we learn how to receive, once we learn how to listen, once we learn how to be silent, that's all the moon. And then through the moon, through the lunar part, we can use our retrograde planets for our integration purposes. And they can be really great. So what is great about the retrogrades? Everything is great about the retrogrades if your moon is nice, if you feel good with your moon, if you have a very close relationship with your feelings, you will get the best out of it in order to develop your higher self. So the question is, why is the moon so much connected with our past lives? And this is just because the moon is representative for our soul. This is the most important part of it. And in our soul, we have so many memories that are usually coming from the past. But we just need to understand that moon also transmits memories from the future as well. So both of these are coming through our soul, through the moon. Moon is very often coming from the past, and we will learn many memories from our past lives. And that is just because all the emotions are very connected through our past life memories. And moon is telling us about the lesson that we learn in every life. Because through the moon we develop our soul. We actually incarnate in different realities, in different bodies, in different circumstances in order to learn. So we will always become something new in order to get new experience and to connect that experience with the other experiences that we have already developed. And that's why it is so important in every life that we develop great lunar consciousness, because lunar consciousness gives us a gratefulness. And this is so important that inner gratefulness is so present at the end of every life, because that creates the most important beliefs and all the reality that we will have in our lives. So if we can do that through our moon, we are developing. We are actually developing our quality of integration. And once we integrate, our sun can become real. And that means our self can become real. So we always look at the last lunar conjunction. That means the planet that is previous to the moon, in order to understand the lesson in a previous life. So if we did that lesson very well, that's an important thing, that's an important support. But understanding the lesson, we can understand the kind of a life we lived in previous life. And we can also see how successful in that we were. Was it easy for us or not? We get all those information, and we know that that success would actually give us a level of support in this life to achieve what we need to do. So through the moon journey, we know where we are in our evolution, where we are right now, what are the tasks before us, are we ready to fulfill them, and all of that. That's why moon and lunar nodes are representing one integration axis that we need to establish in several lives. We have our past life karma, but an interesting question is, do we already have our future life's karma? And actually, yes, we do have. This is an ocean of lives. Our future lives already exist. They have their own stories. And just as we actually did some action like 3 days ago that will affect something that is happening in 1 month from then, that's already our future. This thing is happening there. We actually sometimes create karma, create some action that will reflect, like maybe 10 lives ago, 10 lives after that, or 15 or whatever, depending on the quality of action, whatever we did. So it will create its own consequences, and those things are happening already. They're all written there, and they're all communicating one to another. So in many cases, we are connected with our past life karmas that are happening, but sometimes we do connect with our future life karmas, or some things, some needs that are coming. They are a little different than our past lives, because whatever comes from the past is coming through our emotions. We experience that as the field of emotions or field of energy. So it's always like energy, emotion, or animal. That's what we experience. That's something that we call very natural. But what about our future karma? And about our future lives? And how do we establish relationship with them? Well, There are different ways how to establish relationship. One is like we are doing some actions that will reflect in the future, but those parts of us that already live in the future can help us even now. So let's say we go to the bank and we ask a bank officer if he can get a loan, 20 years loan. And if we get that loan, we are literally uniting 20 years of us to achieve certain goals. The same thing is, we pray for something, we ask for something, we want something more than what is usual. Maybe we want something that sounds impossible. Maybe we want something which is our bigger life, our bigger dreams, or whatever. We ask for that. And then, if we are ready, our future lives are helping us. So we are literally getting that support coming from the future. But the deal is, we need to have a purpose. And the purpose is the one that first connects us to those future lives. And also, we keep that purpose not only in this life, but in all other lives that are between now and that life. Let's say we are connecting with our 15th future life, and we are getting support for that. And that life truly can support us, can help us. It is our always more advanced part of us in different areas. So that if that part of us actually meet us and is open to support us, we will have that. We will get that. We will become stronger. But the link is always coming through the purpose. Purpose activates so much of the energy. Actually, it inspires the energy from the past to work for us. And in every single life, between now and these 15, we will have the same purpose for that line to fulfill. And if we fulfill that purpose, we are, very spiritual. We call that a very integrated personality. So basically, through connecting with our future self, we are not only achieving great things here, we are also developing as spiritual beings. And being spiritual is a very practical thing. That's it. This is the most practical thing. It is not something that is some other world or whatever. It is here. This is like how to live that spirituality on our everyday life memory, on everything that is coming from our past. So, bank is here the universe. That universal law that actually allows us, sees us as a mature souls who can receive that support from the future. So that's why in Karmic Integration astrology, we work with the angels as well. Angels are those strings of light that are connecting us with the specific lives. And in this work, I use 72 angels that each of them specifically is addressing one life in different charts, in different native stories. So one angel may be responsible for your 15 future life, and if you are capable of working with that angel, you will develop that kind of purpose, and by fulfilling that purpose, you will be able to achieve something that you need here in this present life to live with. So angels are the most important connectors, the most important links to our future, while the animals are the most important links to our past. We need to unite them. Once we unite them, we get our perfect system here, our perfect beliefs, our perfect self. We become really integrated because the energy is something that goes from our horizontal reality, and the future is something that comes from our vertical reality. And if we can have both of them united, that's something that we see as meeting point of a perfect beliefs. And whatever our beliefs are, This is what we see around ourselves as our everyday reality. Beliefs are what we live.